So now we have a way of communicating with our users. However, our conversation seems a little one-sided, doesn't it? Let's see if we can't go ahead and listen to what the person on the other side of the screen has to say. So what we've done thus far is all output. Now we're going to introduce input into our application. More specifically, input from the keyboard. Let's head back over to our workspace and take some input.
Okay, so our first name variable here is currently hard-coded. Let's see if we can't make it a little more dynamic. Remember how I said that objects like console have methods that allow them to perform actions? So far, we've only seen one method, printf, and that prints text to the screen. Well, the same console object that we've been using has another method called readLine. Just like the printf method prints text out to the user, the readLine method prints text out and then it captures whatever the user types afterwards. So it can be used to prompt the user for their name and then capture what they type. Let's do that. So first, let's remove the string. And then let's type console. And then we can access its methods by pressing a period. And then we'll type readLine, just the name of the method, and we'll call it. Double quotes, we'll type what is your name, because that's the prompt. 2 spaces, and then a quote. And then we will end the parentheses, and we're going to just leave that semicolon there. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So like we said, the readLine method gives us a string. This is known as returning a value. We know that we can call methods on an object to perform actions. Well, another feature of methods is that they can return back information when they're done performing. In this case, this method returns a value that we then use to set our first name variable. Just like before, we use that value stored in the first name variable to write out our formatted sentences. Okay, so we're going to save our file. Then we are going to compile javac introductions.java. And then we're going to go ahead and type Java introductions and press enter. And it's going to prompt us now. And see, because I put the 2 spaces, notice how the cursor is right there, right after the 2 spaces. That's why it's important to leave the 2 spaces in the prompt. So we'll say, what is your name? We'll put in Andrew, and we'll see the program run, and you'll see that it puts Andrew in all the places where the first name variable was, just like before. Now the program has dynamically changed based on input from the user. Nice.
We've now learned how to take input from a keyboard in a command line program and then output a formatted version. This combination of input and output is often referred to as I/O. In fact, if you look at the top of the code that we just wrote, we're importing the console type from the Java I/O package. Java packages are used to bundle related functionality and programs. Building and using packages is a more advanced concept, but I just wanted to point out here that that new term that you just learned about, I/O, is already right there in the statement that we had previously ignored. Congrats! You now know how to send output, receive input, store, and use variables. You will use these concepts in almost every interactive application that you'll write. Now, since they're such important concepts, let's end this stage with an exercise.